Let's get into this Allison Mack story. So, Allison Mack from Smallville is speaking out about the whole situation regarding her time at the NXIVM sex cult. But now she's spilling tea. She said that how she got caught up in this whole cult was because of her former co-star, Kristin Kreuk. Now, y'all know Kristin played Lana Lang on Smallville, and she said Miss Mamas has got her caught up in this whole situation. So, former Smallville actress Allison Mack claims fellow series star Kristin Kreuk introduced her to a life coaching course in Vancouver that was later revealed to be the NXIVM sex cult in a podcast that dropped on Monday, saying, quote, "We were both at a point where we were 25. We were in New York City together. It was our break, and we had rented an apartment in the same building in the West Village. And we both were like, why do we both feel so unsatisfied?" Mac recalled at on the CBC Allison After NXIVM podcast. The 7-episode podcast serves as Mac's first interview since she was released from prison after serving time for her role in the group. She asked Kreuk about she added Kreuk told her, is it Kreuk or Kreuk? We'll go with Kreuk. Told her about a self-help course in Vancouver that was looking for new members. It's the science of joy. It's the most amazing thing. It made everything so much better in life. You got to do this. Matt recalls Kreuk telling her after she'd taken an earlier NXIVM course. She was just like super excited about it. She had a coach and she was talking about a Vanguard and a Perfect, which were the names you called Keith and Nancy at the time. She added about NXIVM leader Keith Raniere and co-founder Nancy Salzman. At Crook's apparent urging, Mack took an initial NXIVM course in Vancouver led by Salzman. We were learning about what's the purpose of mankind, and we were learning about how does that relate to gender differences and relationships. The first episode of the Canadian podcast has the former Smallville star explaining the events that led to a federal prison sentence for her involvement in the recruitment of women to NXIVM, where they were trafficked and abused by the now imprisoned Raniere. Mack was initially arrested in April of 2018 after federal authorities in March 2028 raided NXIVM headquarters near Albany. In a letter filed to the court before her sentencing, Mack addressed those who have been harmed by my actions, stating that she threw herself into the teachings of Raniere with everything I had. Mack served 2 years at a 3-year sentence in prison from 2021 to 2023 after pleading guilty to her involvement in the recruitment of women to NXIVM. Raniere is also serving out a 120-year prison sentence after he was convicted of sex trafficking, racketeering, and other charges. The NXIVM sex cult was the subject of HBO's hit docuseries The Vow, which aired its first season in 2020 and a follow-up in 2022, among other TV projects. Well, funny enough, I never watched The Vow. I heard so many things about it, and I remember there were people telling me like how good it was and all the stuff that was coming out regarding that. But it's funny enough, it's like you're at a point you're like, yeah, you're 25, you're on a hit TV show, you are happy that you're getting all this success and you're getting all this praise and momentum from not only a hit TV show on the CW, but you've got all these magazines like Maxim and all these other stuff that are giving you a lot of praise and photo shoots and all this attention, and you're like the hot it girls of the moment, and now you're like, but I feel unfulfilled. Now you're trying to find that sense of purpose and all that other thing, and you have this hole in your soul that you feel with dope. Now you're feeling fine. That's a Marilyn Manson lyric. But and then you're feeling all these ways about it, and now you're trying to find like, okay, now I need to fulfill this hole in my heart. And then you get caught up, and this is where the vultures come in, when you got these religious zealots that want to swoop down and take advantage of you, or you get caught up in some cultish type situation. And she said like one of her co-stars introduced her to it, and she got in too deep. But I do wonder that with her saying all this and saying that Kristin introduced her to this cult, I wonder, how did Kristin continue on with the cult? How much more of an influence did she have in it? Or was it that Kristin got into it a little bit, introduced you to it, and then probably saw the error, what was really going on in this whole situation, and slithered her way out of it? But Allison continued on with taking the courses and becoming acquainted with, the people that were behind this situation. And so I just wonder like how much what was the name of Nancy and Keith? I wonder if like she got more into it with them and got more connected with them, and Kristen kind of slid her way out. That's what I'm kind of curious of, like how much more of an influence did Kristen have in this whole situation? Because yeah, you sitting there in a way, is she throwing her under the bus though? Kind of, sort of. It's like you're throwing her under the bus, pretty much saying like she had something, she got you caught up in the matrix of this whole situation, but you're not really revealing like, okay, but how, like once you got caught up in the whole situation, how much more influence did she have? Was she continuing on with this whole situation? So these are things I'm curious about. And I'm sure that as we find out more about this, I will definitely keep you abreast of these stories as it develops. In case you want to know more about this whole sex cult situation, I mean, it was a big hit on HBO and HBO Max. So um just be aware of like these crazy cults and things that's going on. So yeah, I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Because Allison Mack basically saying that her Smallville co-star got her caught up and introduced her to this cult, which and her getting so caught up in the situation, she ended up having to do time for it. So yeah, and it's also a teaching about like the pitfalls of being caught up in the cult and cultist like behavior. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.